Hello, this is Rob's Wrestling Reviews. I'm Rob Reed. This is your review for this week's NXT. First, I wanted to apologize for the lack of videos this week. I had a few technical snafus that kept me from making my Raw and SmackDown reviews. But if you really want to know my views on Raw and SmackDown this week, here they are. Raw was pretty good. I think it's taken pretty good shape right now. And hey, Ultimate Deletion, huh? SmackDown, it sucked. Now, on to NXT. This show started hyping up the Dusty Classic Tag Team Tournament, with the first match being Authors of Pain and TM61. We go straight into the match. This was a really hard-hitting match. Both teams are excellent, so no surprise here. There were a few really good spots. Shane Thorne hit a few really good suplexes and a really impressive Falcon's Arrow onto Razor. But eventually, the power of A.O.P. just ended up being too much. There was a really sick bump during this match. Razor picked up Shane Thorne and powerbombed him from the inside the ring onto the outside, onto the apron of the ring, and that was a really brutal looking spot. After that, Nick Miller was pretty much SOL from there. A.O.P. hit a few moves, Exploder into the corner, leading to the final chapter, which gave Authors of Pain the win. After a brief hyping of the main event between Killian Dain and Aleister Black, we then cut to a press conference with William Regal, where people are asking him who he thinks will win the Dusty Classic. He won't give a straight answer and starts to walk away. The camera then pans to Pete Dunne making his way into the arena, where the crowd stops him, and he is eventually stopped by Roderick Strong, who talks about the match they had a couple weeks ago. Pete Dunne said that it was one of the toughest matches he's ever had, but the UK title will stay in the UK. This then leads to Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era also chiming in. Then Adam Cole throwing his name into the hat to face Pete Dunne. This is then later on confirmed by Mauro Ranallo. We then have a quick squash match from Bianca Belair. I did not even catch who the other woman's name was. Did not get any kind of entrance, was just in the ring, and again, it was a quick squash. Good way to make Bianca Belair look good. She never did use her hair whip this time, but she had a couple impressive moves. Finished with an alley-oop powerbomb that looked okay. I think she could probably use a better finisher, but for now, I guess it'll work. We then get a quick interview with Lacey Evans, hyping up her match next week against Dakota Kai, who she calls classless. This is a quick promo, who then is interrupted by Shayna Baszler, and Lacey Evans quickly and smartly walks off. Shayna Baszler goes on to say she's been in NXT 3 weeks now, calling out Ember Moon, who is supposed to be a fighting champion and has yet to answer her challenge. And then she says she figures that is an answer in among itself. I see this not going well for Ember Moon here in the next couple weeks. We then get a weird backstage promo with Heavy Machinery. Tucker Knight is pulling Otis Jovich around on a sled and talking about how they're aged beef now and no one can handle their beef. I don't want to know what that means. We then have the crowd be surprised by the arrival of Tommaso Ciampa, and they let him know their displeasure with him. The entire crowd with a cascade of boos upon Tommaso Ciampa. He hobbles his way down to the ring with his crutch, gets in the ring, grabs a microphone, and in an odd similarity to Roman Reigns from last year, every time he puts the microphone up to his mouth, the crowd just boos him, and he can't get a word out. In fact, I haven't seen this loud of boos since Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker last year. Tommaso eventually gets fed up with the crowd and throws his crutch down and seems to walk pretty fine on his own now. He goes out, starts walking around the ring, and finds someone with a Johnny Gargano sign, and he proceeds to tear up the sign, throw it into the ring, and beat the sign up with his crutch, destroying the crutch in the process. He then walks out of the arena. If there's one way to have a promo with 0 words, I think this is it. Tommaso never spoke one word, and it was a fantastic promo when he didn't even talk. He got over every emotion. He's gotten more heat on himself than most other wrestlers, and he didn't even have to talk. This goes to show just how well of a heel he is, and just how many people love Johnny Gargano. This will be a fantastic match to see, which I am sure they're gonna. After they explain that Johnny Gargano must finish his matches that he has had scheduled, something tells me the one match is still yet to come. And finally, we have the main event between Aleister Black and Killian Dain. This match got to a really fast start with Killian Dain immediately jumping out with a shotgun drop kick that made Finn Balor pale in comparison. This is a real hard-hitting match. It was a really good clash of styles, with Killian Dain using his strength, using his size and strength, and Aleister Black using his precise strikes. Eventually, Killian Dain looked to put Aleister Black into the Ulster Plantation, which Aleister Black rolled through for a 2 count, and then immediately hit Black Mass for the 1-2-3. This was a really good match and a good way to finish this week's episode. Aleister Black should have a really good match with Cien Almas at Takeover, where I expect Aleister Black will win the NXT Championship. It's the only course I can see taking place. Thank you for watching. I'd like you to hit the like button, comment, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next review. Bye.